Going to talk a little bit about problems with the 2016 Ford Explorer Headlight and what you can do to fix them. When I got a free car wash after my vehicle inspection, the headlight filled with water, not just kind of a little bit of condensation, which happened on both sides, but on this side there was a visible line of water in the bottom of the headlight, which promptly stopped working. The high beam was fine, but the LED low beam was not. And underwater, at the very bottom of the headlight assembly, is this LED driver. It's pretty specific depending on how many channels there are. I managed to find a replacement on eBay, and I thought rather than taking the headlight assembly out of the car, which involves removing the whole bumper to be able to get it out, I would try and fix it in situ. And I managed, through a very scratchy hand operation, to get to the bottom of the headlight unit, take the screws out and unplug this internal plug and plug it back in with the new one, but still no joy. If you go to Ford, one of these headlamp assemblies is about $500, $600. You can get them cheaper from a breaker. So I didn't want to buy one, but I couldn't get it to work, so I had to. And when I got mine, the LED comes without the LED driver, which is another couple $100. I discovered that the connector that goes into the LED driver should be plugged into two things. Mine, however, was only plugged into one because I'd been jiggling it in the bottom of the car, and the one that had become disconnected actually plugs into the back of the LED itself, and that had become disconnected. And by taking it out of the car, I managed to reconnect it. It's right back here, and taking the headlamp assembly apart involves heat guns and a nightmare. But I discovered by drilling a small hole here, I could plug it in from the outside without taking it apart. And as you put it back together, you'll see here there's one blue, two, three blue threads that are actually blind bolts coming down from the top. And you have to do this kind of cow delivery movement I talked about earlier, where you put your hand inside the wheel well, past the mud, the bit that sort of protects the body of the car from the mud. You kind of stick your hand in there, wiggle it around, and then you got to put those three in, which is not fun. This is the back of the heatsink for the bright LED low beam in this one. And it should, I believe, on installation have been punctured so that steam can escape from the headlamp assembly, because I believe the headlamp assembly does actually leak, and this is supposed to vent it.